Welcome back to Benny's Custom Works, proudly supported by Sparesbox. Don't forget, if you are on Sparesbox, BCW5 on checkout. Today we're back on the Fox Body Mustang again. For those of you that aren't aware, we have just completed Drag Challenge weekend with both this and the Cresta. We're going to have some videos coming out specifically on Drag Challenge weekend. However, they're not ready just yet. In real time, it's only about 2 or 3 days after us returning from Drag Challenge weekend. So we're going to get stuck into the Mustang today again. Previously, we did a lot of preventative maintenance and stuff, basically just to limp it through the weekend. The engine has been a bit noisy for quite a while, and over the course of the weekend it's gotten noisier. Now it's not, I don't think it's a bottom end, it appears to be a lot more of a tinny rattle. So I'm going with probably something like maybe a collapsed lifter or a timing chain tensioner or something like that. However, it does need a freshen up anyway because this is the engine that we pieced together at HED. So it's got a damaged piston in, I think, pot 5. So realistically, we need to replace, at a bare minimum, that piston. But realistically, I don't really know what we're going to find when we pull it apart. So today the plan is to rip the engine out and pull the rocker cover off and possibly the timing cover off. Then it's going to go to Empire and those guys are going to work their magic on it. Hopefully we'll be able to film the full teardown with those guys, but it is a little bit of a time crunch as well because we've got some events rolling out in January where we're going to be both running this and the Cresta. Benny P's going to be coming up to run the Mustang. Obviously, we're going to keep running the Cresta. And we're both going to be pushing these things a little bit harder in the new year. So, yeah, basically, we want to get this so it's good to go, back to its full potential. We kind of haven't been leaning on it as hard as we want to because we know it is hurt. And equally, we don't want to go trying to push it and run 40 pounds through this engine because at the moment, it's going to be a fairly economical repair on this engine. However, if we have a more catastrophic failure, like a piston failure or something like that, basically we're going to be looking at a new block, a new set of rods, a new head. This also has a ported head with Kelford cams and springs and all sorts of good stuff in it. So it's not a $100 taxi head anymore. So we really don't want to go damaging the vital components that are quite costly to replace. So this is all preventative maintenance effectively again. So yeah, we're going to rip it out and at least get some covers off so we can have a look at it and so you guys can have a look at it as well. That's enough talking, let's get into it. I feel like I'm on one of those skill tester games. I win. few of you guys have asked about how we've got this exhaust set up. Obviously, a lot of you are used to the exhaust coming out of the guard. That's how it was in America. We do still run that at the track. However, we've got a diverter valve installed into what was the guard exit. So that's now there so that it closes that off for street driving. Obviously, when we did drag challenge, there was a portion of street driving as part of the event, so this was driven on the street. But with that in mind, we put in a full 3-inch exhaust, and it actually comes out of the bottom of this and merges down. So at a first glance, it looks like this diverter valve or block-off valve actually just closes the dump pipe altogether, and there's no way for the car to breathe. However, once you have a look at it, and now the turbo's off, you can see a lot clearer on how it's plumbed and how it works. So just sort of quickly explain it so that we can get some good shots of it while the turbo's off, because it's heaps easier to understand and look at it with that apart. Looking at it all, it kind of looks pretty good. There's nothing really standing out. It may just be that the oil pressure was low. We run a different oil pump in this one to what's in the Cresta. So potentially it's just that low oil pressure has made the timing chain and the lifters noisy. So I think we've got a HP Junkie billet pump to go in this as well as into the second Cresta engine that we're building at the moment. So I'll take it down to Omar and get those guys to check it out. Go right through it. We'll basically pull it right apart, head off, pistons out, rods out, crank out, check all the bearings for wear. Just dropping that oil out then. I put a magnet in where I could see sort of metallic substance in it. None of it's stuck to the magnet. So basically that tells me that it's most likely bearing. Not ideal, but also not terrible, because like I said, it was coming apart already anyway. I don't want to go tearing it right down here because I'd rather Omar pull it apart, because I'm not an engine builder and he knows what he's looking at. So I don't want to pull something apart and potentially miss something when it might be a clue to the problem or just some information for him. So I think all I'll do is throw the rock cover back on it and then we'll drop it down there and call it a day. Well, we bashed it out pretty quickly today. We've got the engine out of the Mustang. We've basically torn all the bits off it, put those into storage. Now we've got a bare long motor, which is going to go down to Empire Mechanical. We'll do our best to make sure we try and shoot a teardown video for that. However, we are trying to get that thing done as soon as possible, so we've got to work within their time frame. So if we're shooting something else, unfortunately, we won't be able to cover that. But all things going well, we will have both this and the Cresta at Summer Nats Slam at Sydney Dragway early January. So if you're going to that, we will aim to be there. That's pretty much it for today, guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.